Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Twitch channel. I am Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis, and my wing woman here, joining me today. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm very well, Lorraine, and always glad to be here to talk about Reacher, this exciting series that we have been enjoying so much.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's almost like a guilty pleasure watching it because it's so good. It reminds me of like I used to watch these like murder mysteries with my grandfather. Like I'd sit there and watch them like Matlock, and I'd watch like Murder She Wrote, and I'm just like, why does my grandfather want to watch these mysteries about old people? And you just get sucked up in the mystery and in the who done it story. And it's kind of like how it is with this with the Reacher, but with someone who's much more easier on on the definitely easier on the eyes, so to speak. So we are up to episode, I can't believe it, episode 6
Wow.
that we are up to, and I'm so excited, so excited to watch this with you and watch it with you guys out there in the land of Twitch. So do appreciate it. We're both here trying to get to affiliate level, so please definitely do, share the stream, go back, watch our other stuff whenever myself or her goes live, come and check us out. So let's see here. Let's see if Amazon is gonna play nice and start, because you lately it's been starting like about like about a minute behind, minute
Right.
20 behind. It's kind of crazy. Still kind of learning how to do watch parties and stuff like that. So let's see. We are 6 Papier. I believe that's what it's
Yes.
called. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The French Creole on my father's family. I can actually pronounce some of that stuff, kind of right, with a slightly American accent.
Well, the last episode, Lorraine, we found out so much. I mean, Roscoe found out that, the man who was her guardian had left all this stuff for her that was really, really critical to this case. And in addition to that, we find out that unfortunately, Reacher, from I think it was this last episode where his father, was now going to be sort of like penalized
Hmm.
for the fact that Reacher and his brother were kind of involved in this thing where they were just protecting somebody. That's what it was about, was
Right,
right. So for
right.
doing the right thing, they're kind of like, punished for this. And, that was something that, was a valuable life lesson, I guess you would say. It would make a very good episode, like on the Wonder Years or something like that, or,
Hmm.
on the base, whatever you want to call it. If they had a military base version of the Wonder Years, this would be it, right? Um, but we also get introduced to Neely in the last episode,
Yes,
and that incredible car scene, Lorena. My gosh.
that car scene. How would I put it? Anything that's in like an enclosed space to begin with already has a certain tension that's ratcheted up. And when I saw it, my mind immediately went back to Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering when Samuel L. Jackson is talking to him in the car, and he's got the gun, and the gun accidentally, goes off, and just the reaction from everybody in that small space. That's what it reminded me in this one. And it's like the one officer, once they talk too much, he pulls the gun out and holds it to his partner's head. He's like, wait a minute. I can see you pulling it on them, but your partner, who you've been on out on the beat with for I don't know how long, who you trust to have your back. Now all of a sudden he's got the gun, to your head, and Reacher and Neely are telling him, pull the, get the gun away from him, and the cop, he's so naive, he just goes with it, and unfortunately, winds up dying. But them get into the water, getting out of the car. Of course, the guy who shot him, he went down because he screwed up. they were going to do to him just like they did to the chief of police and nail him to the wall. So
Yeah, I mean, it's terrifying when when we come to that realization. And it was a very exciting episode. I have to say, it was extremely exciting, and they didn't have a lot of time to react, did they?
no, didn't have any time, any no hardly any time to breathe. Which for us in the audience, we like it. We're just like, what's next? Like we're holding our breath and watching, but it's a ton, a ton of action. Did not end the way that we expected it to at all.
No.
We thought we thought we knew who the baddie was, and guess what? When the baddie's dead, it's like back to, it's like back to square one. So we're about to
Yeah,
find out.
it's just there's so many twists and turns in this. It really does keep you interested. At this point, you're kind of like, well, who is it now? Who is the person who's pushing all these buttons and making all this thing go in this
Mm-hmm.
this incredibly complicated I guess illegal operation, whatever this thing is. It seemed like it was I can't remember the man's name now, but it's not him. It's not who we thought it was.
Yeah, it's not Kleiner. It's almost like the dinner mystery theater where the one who it looks like all the evidence is pointing to them, and then you turn around, next thing you know, they're dead. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, what do we do now? We were following this guy. What if we missed, the real kill? It's almost very Hitchcock, I would say, in
It's
a way.
yeah, it's got a sophisticated kind of storytelling feel to it
Hmm.
that I think does have a Hitchcocktonian, if that's a word, feel. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Lorena. It certainly is a high quality story. This is not a simple who done it, not at
No.
all.
And I think that's why it's so popular. Hello, Darth Megatron 69 over there
Hi.
on Twitch. That's wow,
Yeah.
that's a cool that's a cool avatar. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. So for you folks who are watching along, we're getting ready to start here,
Hmm.
and hopefully I will be able to do this once, and it'll connect. I love this. I'm stunning from YouTube and Twitter. There
Yes.
you go. All
Yes.
right. Glad to see you here. I didn't want to assume. I'm like, I think that's who I think it is. So I'm glad you're here, man. Okay, so we're in a minute 34 now.
Okay.
I'm like, trying to look at that Google satellite ish. That just shows just how just like not with it. How much
Yeah.
of a, just lack of a better term, how much of a hick he is. He's like he doesn't know enough, but he knows enough to ask to get the good stuff. I wish we could have seen more Jolene so they could eat some more.
I know, right? Gosh. Oh.
Hey, Darth
Oh,
Megatron. Haven't been following the show and currently doing some writing for my comic. So I'll just be
nice.
lurking and listening to your lovely voices. So, well, thank you, my dear.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, thank you. And
Mhm.
KJ's dumbass just came in here and tried to assault Finley.
Come on. This makes no sense. Why would he be attacking Finley? He's the good guy, remember? Come on.
Yeah. But for some
He
reason, he just suspects Finley.
That's not even Finley's style. Like I could understand if he was like, I'll cap your ass or some shit like that, but that's
Mhm.
not Finley. He's very by the book. Come on. He wouldn't do this.
That's why it makes me wonder about KJ.
Yeah.
It's like first he's starting stuff with Reacher, digging up, say, oh, stuff you did in Afghanistan. Now he's after Finley.
It's interesting he referred to Kleiner as the town's fairy godmother.
Mm-hmm. Which would make sense because if that town like was dying, kind of like these small towns, and no one wants to invest, and then all of a sudden these people come in to invest, and now they have money, and now they have that tax money. They think that they're kind of like it is, kind of like a fairy godmother.
Mm-hmm. I love this. I love this guy in his shop, because he's seen it all and heard it all, right?
Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, whatever, what you want, what you need done. His car. What's his car?
Now that'll definitely fly him under the radar.
Oh yeah. I thought maybe it was gonna be like a Mustang GT or like a GTO.
Yeah.
It's a minivan, but it fits.
But she's hooked up right underneath the hood, man.
Mm-hmm. I got it souped up for you. Holy.
His car won't break down. That's about.
Oh heck no.
Yeah.
Running nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about small towns.
His family's been there longer than the Kleiners and the Teals, as long as Ms. Roscoe's kin.
Mm-hmm.
Why should anyone drive me from my town? And I think that's really important. He has a sense of patriotism of the town and of the country. This is not going anywhere. Why should he have to leave when, everything was fine until this whole thing, right? From what they're implying.
That's what it's like with the older ones. Because I would always ask my aunt, like, why are you still here? Because like my mother and her cousin, they were just like, no, we're not staying down this far south, not with Jim Crow and all that. We're just moving, up north.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, why did you guys still stay down here? And I'm just like, we've been here for centuries. Why should we go anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm glad. Again, I would not know that the writer was British. I would not know because he has the South nailed down.
Absolutely.
The small southern town.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe he left them by themselves.
Yeah, that would be considered a tip off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He should have just kept them in the car and, keep the windows closed.
Mm-hmm.
And
everything I've seen from like people in protective custody, even in like TV shows, are just like, I can't even go to the bathroom without one of you people around.
That's right.
That's usually how it is. So yeah, that something ain't right. Okay.
That is a pretty solid door for a cabin. Usually it's like some kind of pretty door or something.
Mm-hmm. Nice pine.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they always had the little block the door. Especially with Roscoe. Shoot.
Yeah, right. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you with Roscoe. Shoot.
Lot.
Yep.
I remember I went in my apartment once and my sister was behind me. She's like, I couldn't get in the door. I said, because I always lock the door behind me.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to do. This cracks me up that they're in this like rusted, souped up Dodge Caravan. Usually on a stakeout, they have all the food in the car. See, here we go. We got jerky, right?
The chips, the jerky. The jerky's not bad. I don't like. Sometimes if it's too tough, like when you're chewing it, that's when it bothers me. But if it's a fresh jerky and you can really, it's easy to eat. There, I
Mhm.
like it. And they have all these different flavors now. Remember, it
I
was just like one flavor
know.
before.
Now they got like barbecue and honey smoke. It's a lot.
That's good.
But I love the stakeout trope. You know you're gonna get some good conversation because they're stuck in a car. Yeah, it calls a nearly.
It's for protection. You're not going to tell people your relationships with other people when you're
No,
doing investigations and stuff. It's
no.
like you just can't.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
I think this really refers to people who have done military service. I have not. It's a different type of experience, and if you haven't done it, you can't, like assume certain things about it. Like I don't know anything. I can't go ahead and say I know. People who are in
Mhm.
the military understand other people who are in the military, and that's all there is to it. It seems.
They do, and it's kind of hard if you're on the civilian side to kinda catch it. Oh, see here now we find out his wife died.
This is so sad.
I love how they wrote this because we just assumed he was just an asshole.
Hmm. And you've been to Boston, Lorraine, right?
Yes.
It's a
Mhm.
beautiful city. Like it's fantastic. I can understand how, you could build a lot of memories there.
There's so much, like, history there and the
Mhm.
architecture there and the
It's a pretty
different neighborhoods that are there.
Yeah, it's a pretty looking town. Like if you go into the town, it's pretty to
Mhm.
walk around. You really could just enjoy yourself. I could understand how he might have to kind of walk away from that for now.
Especially if everywhere like, if he was in the same neighborhoods, the same streets, the same restaurants, and you're no longer able to go there, you know, with your life partner anymore. Much different from being in, like, a rural area and you're out in the middle of nowhere, but it's like you're in a concentrated city, you have to walk by everything every day. It kinda makes you feel a bit more for Finley. It's like he's not now we kinda know why he's so much of a hard ass, but it's the one we like now. Makes you wonder, why is he
It
there
is
doing
odd.
things instead of at the funeral home? Did I mention I like steakouts? It's a nice cabin.
It is really nice.
Mm. Are they playing, no, it's not Boggle. I just saw, like, the rack, the numbers. I can't remember which name it was.
Is that how her parents died? It was
Hmm,
a car
yeah.
accident. Oh, that's awful.
It was a car accident. That coming from Roscoe means a lot because she's been that kid who's had to live through a tragedy like that. So it's not like somebody just telling, just words. I see movement that shouldn't
Yeah,
be there.
that was a light. That was a light. I would have never caught that.
That's how you know she's a trained cop. That's right. Is he like the crazy astronaut lady is wearing a diaper while he's
Well, at that time, people didn't wear like you didn't see commercials about poise and all that stuff on TV. Nobody wore anything like
No.
that. So
Every time I tell people that for the space shuttle launches that the astronauts all wear diapers, just like I said, no, I'm not making that up. That they really do. It's like, yeah, once they seal you in there, you can't get out or get to the, the vacuum toilet right
yeah, you
away.
can't. No solid food for 24 hours. That's what I
Yeah.
would do because I don't want to have the other alternative.
Yeah. All the interesting thing you learn about the space program that you didn't know.
Don't you cry no more.
That is, I am not a big rock fan, but there's certain classic rock songs that you just know. It's like, I'm on it.
They're actually a really good team.
Very. And I like how that's like developed throughout, throughout the series. First they're kind of like thrown together and trying to figure out what's what. I suspect you, I suspect you. Then all of a sudden, okay, they suspect all of us. We got to find out what's going on. So now we kind of formed our own little unit. Oh, neat.
There they go holding the gun and like with the flashlight like a cop would.
Mm-hmm. So they're not like some rank punks.
Mm-mm.
They have some kind of tactical training.
Yeah. God bless her. God bless this woman. She is so badass.
Some reason she reminds me of Jamie Lee Curtis in Blue Steel.
Hmm. I
That's a
can see
good
that.
movie.
Yeah, I can see that in her.
Don't say a word. And these kids have got to be scared out of their wits.
Yeah, they're probably crying right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a throw 'em away.
Yeah, they are crying. See, they're
Mm-hmm.
scared. They don't understand. They think this is it. They think they're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she must be a real good shot. She shot somebody in the dark.
I almost want to say that's like a tactical move. You're shooting, you miss and you see exactly where they're going after they shoot in reaction and kind of shoot like that way.
I was almost going to say something very similar to what you're saying, like if she were hunting an animal and
Mhm.
she wants the animal to move to the right, but then she shoots to the left because she knows he's going to move to the right if she does that.
Mhm. Yeah, she dropped your ass. I love this
This is really important too because sometimes just getting somebody in the leg or something can help you out tremendously. I had
completely.
no idea he had a bomb with him. Did you?
I did not. I had zero clue. But
Because
that's
that
like
could have gone very badly.
it could have gone really, really badly. That's the one thing about being a female cop or learning how to use a firearm, because if you're up against somebody who, has 30% more upper body strength, and outweighs you, you have to
Yeah.
figure out how to mitigate that and mitigate it quick.
In my case, it'd be something like 70% more upper body strength. Like, even if they push me, I'm like, ow.
Oh, are they at the no-tell motel?
Mhm.
The ones where they rent the rooms by the hour.
That's right. And when you don't come out, they call you.
Yeah.
Your 4 hours are up.
You're up. Scene of the crime motel. They've always got like crime tape around there.
Gosh.
Why are you cutting the? Are you trying to get in the truck? Lights on. I gotta check the truck. Don't move. We know he heard the door. And he's like, okay, all right, come check truck. Very smart, Finley. Hide up under the truck. Poor Philly. He's in that nice suit. And he's like, okay, I guess I can't find anything. Oh, that was smart because he looked under. He went like under the undercarriage.
Yeah, you can't see him. You'd have to be underneath the truck to see him
Mm-hmm.
now.
Wow. Yeah, that could have went badly.
He had the gun at a ready. I mean, he was
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna kill somebody if they were near that truck.
Mm-hmm. I hope this is worth it. But what? There's nothing in the truck?
Now that makes no sense.
What?
Why would he be driving around with an empty truck?
Yeah, because that makes no sense. Look at that. Sorry to wake you up. They're much nicer than me. I would have been like, who the heck is this? What?
Oh, uh, Oh no.
He was taking his dog for a walk and got whacked.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was really fast
This whole situation is really just poison.
and extremely, extremely dangerous. You see, that's how I'd answer.
Yeah, because people are not making it. This is people are, I hate that expression, but they are dropping like flies. Like this is
And he just said, I need you to do exactly what I tell you if you want to be alive.
mhm.
That's something he didn't have before because he was just naive to, hey, you're going to show up. My brother was working with you. And they killed her.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
that's not
killed
going
the
to work
other
again.
guy. No, they killed the other guy before they get back to him. So, like, let's protect this one. Do exactly as I tell you.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because we know that we're just like, they're not living very long. You're gonna have to work fast.
Plan B.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so cute.
I know, right?
I'm going for a ride. Nobody. That's right.
Now they've been up all night, essentially, going through woods that they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or
so,
mosquito bites, and I can't.
mhm.
Oh, I can't even.
Yeah,
Ugh. I'm the first one the mosquitoes go for. Why does that look like Burbank Airport?
it might be. I couldn't tell you if that was Burbank Airport.
Dang! He just into the Desert Eagle. Like, here you go.
It's so big.
I know. It's a gorgeous firearm.
I like it. I think it's a great piece. So
Yeah. It's one of those where I'm just like, man, the kickback on that one.
yeah, it looks heavy. So that would be like,
It is.
can't carry that. But
It is. It's one of those where if you have it in your house for home protection, can't beat it. But the kickback on it is something else.
mhm.
Is that Marvin the Martian?
Yeah, maybe.
I love Marvin the Martian.
She's telling her this to protect, so that she and the girls will be protected. And I think
Hmm.
that, you know, I guess after what they went through, this mother feels that she can trust Roscoe now.
Right.
I thought she didn't know anything either. So she certainly,
That changed. I thought she had no clue. She was just like, my husband didn't come home and I don't know what's
mhm.
going on. I get it, but yeah.
She almost has to know now. She has to know what's going on fully. There can't be any more secrets.
No.
Her husband, he is a grown up, but he was incredibly naive.
Very. I mean, this company comes into town swimming in money and all of a sudden they're super interested in you. I'm laughing at Darth Megatron stickers. I see Stewie.
You know,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I think you could say what I'm going to say.
he got totally taken advantage of. But you made a good point, Lorena. If something is too good to be true, it probably is. You know, he's so ignorant. He doesn't know anything about the Kleiners, from what I can see. And if
Mm-mm.
he had researched the Kleiners, he would have found out about that EPA thing, right?
Right.
They were involved in, and he might not have wanted to work with a company that had kind of ruined another place. You know, sometimes you do research on a company before you work for them.
Right.
But he didn't seem to do that, or at least I don't think he did, because I don't think he would have been in a rush to apply to work with them. I mean, at least I don't think I would. As an accountant, I wouldn't want to work with a company that has a track record like that, because from an accounting point of view, I don't want to be in the middle of another issue they might have
Exactly.
with a background like that. And in accounting, I definitely would say, no way, I can only work with a company I know that has sort of like does their tax stuff and isn't into illegal stuff.
Because the thing that tipped me off was when he says, I need help moving hard currency. Unless you're a bank
Yeah.
or like a retail operation, that makes no
Or the
sense.
or the government, like the government kind of does things like that, where they'll
Yeah.
move funds,
Where there's
physical.
some reason why you have to have hard currency on hand. But this guy's talking as if I need you to move around to pay some people off.
And you and I both know that that's called money laundering, isn't it? Or at least that's what
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. It's the reason they bought that car wash in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too good to be true. Four
He
times
didn't
your
ask.
currency.
He's like not asking a whole lot of questions. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Now, I think, and I do want to ask you a question about this after the scene happens, because of course we
Mm-hmm.
have seen it before, but I do want to ask you a question about this scene only because of how the delivery of it all, because right now this man is, very elated, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's just
Oh
gotten
yeah.
this offer that's incredible. And, there's a lot of analogies, like, in The Godfather, somebody gives you an offer you can't refuse, 4 times the amount.
Mm-hmm.
That would be some kind of like, and then we see these horses, and I'm thinking, the first thing that I was thinking is The Godfather. Did you think that when you saw this?
Yes. When the horse winds up in his bed, like the horse head.
Yes. So I feel
I
like maybe that they paid homage to, something like that
I
from the
would
scene.
I would agree because that was a big theme in The Godfather, and also The Sopranos.
Yes.
He also had that in The Sopranos too.
Okay. Oh,
Bruh.
this isn't happening.
Anytime you start hearing a lot of exposition really fast,
This isn't
he's not telling
happening.
the story just to pass time. Hey, VK Panther,
Hey.
good seeing you. Glad you're here.
And then he's all imitating. You are part of this now. You're in it. You're balls deep in this. Like he just got there. Go tell the cops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to protect you from yourself. Hey, BK Panther, we're at 34 minutes and 8 seconds.
Hmm.
So Kleiner's basically telling Paul Hubble, congratulations, you played yourself.
But it's a very well rehearsed routine, isn't it?
Very. You can tell he's done this before. How can you usually when it's something like that, the accountant finds bits and pieces and is investigating it. But this is just like, oh yeah, I did it. It can't be that. And you almost think it can't be that easy. Can it?
Also, this character, he's not a mastermind, this kid. I keep calling him a kid. He's not a mastermind. Like, he wouldn't even dream of something like this. This is not something that he would dream about. He reads about violations in law manuals.
Yes.
Or in the news, or he read about a court case, but this is not him. Like, this is not his
No.
how he operates.
He's never I would even say it's not like he's never seen The Godfather. He's never seen Scarface. He's never seen New Jack City. He's never seen Miami Vice. None of that. And they're making him watch this on purpose.
That's right. So with that being said, I
Mhm.
suspect, like, from some of the deaths that we've seen even in the town of Margrave, I
Mhm.
suspect that they've done this over and over again as people are getting kind of,
Mhm.
tapped out, or, like, kind of killed. They always bring somebody in to witness it and saying, like, if you do this, we're going to let you know what's going to happen to you. So,
Mhm.
so it's not just a gift and I'm buying your silence. There's definitely intimidation
Oh
in these
yeah.
techniques to coerce people in this town to do stuff that they don't want to do. And I think that was pretty important to show, because sometimes people get tied up in stuff. He didn't know this guy was doing this. So I think
Mm-mm.
that was kind of important. He felt that if the police catch him, he's going to be in trouble. I'm like, no, you don't do this. This is not something you normally do. Immediately go to the police and report this. But he's so
Mhm.
frightened from what he's seen and has been so intimidated by the way that they treated that poor guy,
Mhm.
that he knows what will happen to him if he does that. And he even confessed to a murder so he wouldn't have to.
Exactly.
um
Like, yeah, I did it. Like, what? What? Why?
so I think that was really good that they showed a situation like that, because a lot of times people don't understand how, unfortunately, a person can get into this. But this guy Kleiner picked this town for this reason and knew he could persuade people in the town to do stuff that he wanted. And
Mhm.
no matter what it took, he would be willing to fly this guy to wherever he flew him to, and pretty much, chop off some guy's arm or do whatever they did to that poor guy,
Right.
just to make a point, to make him do what he wanted to. So these guys
Mhm.
will go to any means necessary to get what they want.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like this guy. I don't have time for jokes. I need something now. Uh,
Yeah, I'll take the pocket square. I love the previous scene where he's in the cab, and I think the cab driver's talking Farsi and he's talking smack about him, and then Rachel starts replying in Farsi and he's like, okay, guess I can't do that.
so in this scene, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
He looks so
yes.
hot in that suit.
Ah, God, thank you so much, Skydance. Thank you, Ellen Richardson. Thank you, Lee Child, for writing this. Thank you so much for this. Ah, God, I love it. So he looks at this guy, all the men in the precinct, and looks at what they're wearing.
Yes. And he looked down, he saw this guy's shoes, and his shoes are shined and tied up. So very procedure wise. I love these Darth Megatron, especially Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Yeah, Yeah.
And I am assuming, although I don't know for sure, that because his shoes are impeccable and maybe his uniform is impeccable, then that implies that he has some military service.
That's what I'm thinking by looking at him. There's just a certain presence that they have.
Mm-hmm. And we saw the guy outside of the precinct said that they had a problem, and this is the problem: is that she's in a precinct, and they
Yes.
can't really touch her in there, not in a
Nope.
big town like this.
So that was smart when he's telling her, "Look, this is where you need to go."
Mm-hmm. God, he looks good in that suit. He looks like an attorney, like a professional. I'm going to say professional football league, an NFL or like what's his name in Ballers, Dwayne Johnson. I guess he didn't really wear a suit all the time, but yeah, he kind of reminds me of that. I could see him representing some clients.
So nice. And he's got the pocket square too. It's gorgeous. Really?
This is complicated. No wonder you need an economist to do this.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not paper, it's actually cloth, which is why you can wash your money.
She's like, if someone has the talent, you're talented counterfeiter. You're so talented.
Mm-hmm. Of all places. Dang. Ooh, that looks good.
I wish I could give you one.
Oh, I'll have to go crack into my stash after this is over.
So he told her to stay in the precinct, right, Lorena?
Yes. I love how he says that.
Yes.
Okay, Officer Diaz, you look kind of nice there.
I love this.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah. But they have that understanding because that's
do.
one thing that some people say when they come out. They know in the military that their brother in arms has their back. In the civilian world, they don't quite get that. So if they're both military, even if they are in the civilian world, that's that understanding,
They'll take a bullet for each other. They'll take a bullet, and that's understood. And if you fall, they'll go and get you. It's understood. These things are how it goes. I wish he hadn't thrown away that beautiful suit, though. He looked so nice in that.
I know. Now he's being chased by Ponytail Boy.
Yeah, and that guy's dangerous because he's the one who was going to kill anybody who got in his way, pretty much. So another assassin. He doesn't have any weapons on him, right? He's just.
I love that. Wow.
He has no weapons on him. This is really look at when
I got a bicycle. This is where anything is a weapon. He's got a bicycle tire.
Got to use something. What do you find
Which
in the
is
city?
kind of smart, actually.
Anything just to elude this guy, because he's got to do something. I mean, this is getting serious. And, oh God.
Yeah, it's a shame with we gonna use this tie.
If it was a football player's suit, it must have been a high quality suit too. This was not, just an ordinary suit.
Wasn't something cheap. And broke his ankle.
I'm sorry.
That
someone's gonna make a compilation scene of us of like all the parts when people get killed.
How do they react?
Oh my God.
But it's freaking genius at the same time.
God. What do they learn? Like 200 ways to kill somebody or something?
Yeah, something like that.
What can you do with a tie?
Tie jacked the guy up, broke his legs so he couldn't freaking move, and then on the side. And then used his body weight to basically choke him while he was hanging off the side. That was freaking hot.
Don't go on the fire escape tonight, ladies. Oh, it's over. Oh, gosh.
We're never prepared for this to be over.
God.
All I gotta say is it's a good thing y'all just dropped all the episodes, because if I had to wait until next week, I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it ended that way. Hey, BK Panther said, you ever watch interviews of the actor Alan Ritchson? He was scrawny before this show. LOL. Yeah, I think we did. We read something. He had to put on like 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
For this.
That is dedication. And it really shows how, motivated he is to make this character realistic. Really amazing that he did that. I wouldn't say scrawny. I would say he was thinner.
He was thinner. Maybe like a basketball player build.
Yeah. Yeah. Like on Titans, he seemed to have that physique a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, he was thinner and did look different. So, he didn't have that linebacker.
Yeah. Because that's from, you got a crazy trainer, you're out there flipping tires and, and doing like 2 workouts, a day. And then you got like a high protein, diet. I mean, I've seen
20,000 calories a day or something.
I've seen some
guys put on some more muscle on you.
I know, and it's crazy because for some people, because it's obvious he has the genetics to actually put that much weight on that quickly, because not everyone is predisposed to putting muscle weight on that quickly. So I'm glad he did it, because he freaking looks good.
He looks fantastic.
He looks
fantastic.
Absolutely great.
I don't know, maybe he has like 6% body fat or 5% body fat, maybe.
Probably something like that.
That suit, Lorena, even though I'm kind of jumping ahead, that suit, he just, oh my God, he looked like, it was kind of like watching The Bachelor, all the seasons combined into one.
It's true. I'm trying to figure out where I read this, but lingerie for women is a man in a nice suit, like a nicely tailored, suit. Just I'm sitting there. I'm just like, man, it looks like the NFL draft.
Yes, hit him like a glove, didn't it? It was like
it just fit. It fit perfectly.
That was
including the pocket square
mhm.
was a nice touch too. Did you see how many books were written? This could go on for a long
Yes,
time.
and 20 books, Lorena. It's going to go on and on and on. Uh, I'm looking forward to it.
Especially if they keep this quality up, because the fact that it's produced not only, I think, Paramount is like the producer, but the studio is Skydance. Now,
Yes.
another one, if you guys have seen it on Netflix, The Adam Project, which is actually very, very good. I mean, well, okay, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10. It was
Me too.
still, it was a fun watch. I really enjoyed watching that. That's also Skydance. And Skydance is actually run by two former Disney executives. So if they keep this up, they've got a really great run. It could probably run like Law and Order, like Law and
Yeah.
Order, which is going on for I don't know how many years.
Yeah. I could see them doing I could see them doing, I think it's over 20 books. I could see them doing 20 seasons easily. Maybe not all with Rickson, but maybe by that time one of his sons will be big enough to take over one of
Yeah, to
the
kind of
roles.
take over the role. But this thing, it's like the mysteries are so good. And that's it's like, you have Ritson, who is the eye candy, of course. And his acting is great, but there's also this story, behind what's going on. We're just like, what's happening? And it's like, it seems like when something else may wrap up, something else unravels, and and comes apart. Like, one thing that I really liked, and as the audience, because we were so upset, like what happened with with Joe's partner, how she was killed, and she was just coming to see him, and we were just like, she's sticking out like a sore thumb, and something's gonna happen, and she got killed. And he calls the other two people who were helping Joe, and one, he was killed walking his dog. So by the time he calls the next person, he's just like, if you want to be alive by morning, you need to do exactly as I tell you. And we're just like, we're so freaking glad he did. He did that, because we knew, like, everyone who was trying to help Joe is winding up dead.
They're definitely being watched, and it's a huge network that's watching them,
Hmm.
from start to finish. It looks like they're alone, but they're not. Someone has eyes on them, so to speak. So
Hmm.
while it looks like they're moving around freely, someone is watching what's going on. And I'm kind of glad that you couldn't see all of that. Now that we realize, or at least we know, it could be people in Margrave who were watching them, because they've been intimidated by, what we saw that Kleiner had done, at least to that accountant. And we know that these tactics are what they use to coerce people, not just in Margrave, but perhaps in that other town where
Hmm.
they kind of ruined the water. People
Yeah.
are probably afraid to report it because they were, had their lives threatened. So, there was a lot going on with their tactics, not just illegal. And first of all, we found out a lot about the operation, but not just the illegal part of the tactics, but the coercion and intimidation of the townspeople to get their plan in motion. So everybody's
Hmm.
kind of scared um, in this town. And it's really terrifying.
Yeah, it's like the town is, I want to say, like, imprisoned. It's kind of like the neighborhood that's run by the mob,
Yes.
and nobody wants to say anything, because you don't want to end up dead, or your kids or end up dead, or your pets or whatever to end up dead. So you're under, that fear, and that's like what's happened, to this town. In a way, I think probably a lot of them feel kind of like, why did we ever fall for this? Kind of like, I wish they'd never come here. But the fact of the matter is, guess what? Y'all are kind of stuck with them now, and now we see, because of that coercion, why they are so quick to turn on Reacher, to turn on Finley, or any of them that may be going going against, what they want to try and, try and keep quiet.
Yeah, that town didn't stand a chance. And I know that people have to choose right from wrong, but if someone's, taking your family member and saying that we're going to kill them if you don't do this, it's another level of, intimidation that, we do know exists in other countries. And Lorena, I was quite surprised what we learned from that professor in the police precinct.
Oh, absolutely. I had no clue about that. I knew about the protections, like with the currents, with our, currency, like watermarks, magnetic strips. And it's funny how she says paper. So it's like, I know it's not paper. I know it's cloth, because when I was a kid and, accidentally washed money, with my jeans, and, it was still there. It didn't dissolve. And my science teacher was like, yes, that's because it's actually cloth. It is not paper. I'm like, or like, yeah, that's why you can, wash and it comes out. But I didn't know anything like about it being the reserve currency. And, the 100 was the most counterfeited one that was out there. And I'm just like, all of this is so complicated, that Joe had these experts working with them. And then finding out that the stuff that's used, the paper that's used to make dollar bills, is only here in the United States. And it's just like, in that location, no one knows where it is. And that's when he makes the connection. It's just like, it's here. It's not in the outside. It's here. And wow, I just that was some crazy exposition. I did not expect to find out all that information.
It was a lot. And, I think that, like we were talking about, it's not a simple process, is it? Whoever thought this out has thought this out, to the, you know, nth degree of all possible machinations of how to make this work. And, she made a good point when they were saying, we don't look, no one's interested in certain countries' foreign currencies because there is, like the gold standard of American dollar. And no
Hmm.
matter what country you go to in the world, you can flash an American dollar and pay with an American dollar, even if there's no exchange. I know, and I'm sure you've experienced it. If you have 20 bucks, you're like, oh, I didn't exchange. It's like, would you take American dollars? And they're like, yeah, we'll take American dollars. Here you go. So,
Hmm.
that says a lot. And not every currency or country can you do that. In fact, I was surprised the last time I was on a trip with my mother and I wanted to buy something
Hmm.
and I didn't have the local currency. And I asked the man, I said, I only have American dollars. He's like, oh yeah, I can take American. He was like very happy for them. But I said, they're probably going to be angry at me because I don't have, their
The
cash.
local currency. Yeah.
Yeah, they were not, Lorena. They weren't
I
upset.
I believe it. I believe
Mhm.
it. I think the last time that I was out of the country, I had exchanged. I think it was in the UK. Oh God, it was so painful because because American dollars weren't worth as much. But some places, especially the airport, it was like, yeah, we'll take it if you have it. And I'm just like, no, because I can't spend your money when I go back, when I go back stateside. But yeah, you're right. It's like the amount of, no matter where you go, it's like the American dollar. They'll take that because there's enough faith in that particular currency. Like she was saying, it's the most stable currency in the world. So if your currency, goes down the toilet, for lack of a better term, you can take that and actually use it to get goods and services. But it's just absolutely amazing. Oh, Cavitania Che is over here
Hi.
on Twitch. Good to see you. He says, is the show keeping you all wanting?
Yes.
Very, very, very much so on a lot of levels, wouldn't you say? Mhm.
Yes, on a lot of levels. I have to say that this is maybe the one show that I've ever watched where I've had this type of a reaction because the lead character, it's not just his looks. He's a good guy, and that's incredibly attractive. So that just like adds more to the appeal of all of this. And
Right.
so, you're almost drawn to wanting him to win all of this. And there's been sacrifices. He's lost his brother, he's shot at, they're all kind of been ostracized. And this has not been an easy road to kind of go through, but he's determined to do it. But yes, certainly they really lock you into wanting to watch these episodes. This is one of the few series where I can say every episode has delivered for me, and I haven't felt like there was anything, that I missed out on, but I definitely have to see the next episode. When I watch it, I absolutely have to press yes, play, go. Let's watch the next episode. What about you, Lorena?
Ah, dang it. Somebody actually sent me a message, so I like blanked out there for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, he was like, is it leave you wanting? I'm assuming he meant wanting more, right? Is that what he means?
I think that's what it sounds like. Yeah, wanting more, absolutely. Because it looks like this is the first time you see the show on Twitch. So first of all, thank you so very
Yes.
much. It seems every episode ends when we don't want it to,
Yes.
because it everything ends on a cliffhanger, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I have to go back. I have to go back. I need to find out what happens. I need to find out what happens, and what's going on. And that's one of the great things about this,
Yeah,
you
and this
know?
this this episode was kind of like, as far as I'm concerned, the discovery episode, because now we know what's going on. We know that somehow there's a counterfeiting process happening in Georgia, and it's his brother who discovered it. His brother Joe is the one who figured it out. But I guess as he was this close to kind of finding the location, that's
Mhm.
when he was killed. And now Reacher is on the case. But I love how he pretty much saved this woman and had that officer look after her, which he will do night and day. And
Right.
whether it's just him or his brothers, who are probably also in the military, looking after this lady, they will stay in that precinct and make sure she survives. She is going to be fine. She's going to be
Mhm.
the one person in that research group that is going to be alive through this, because he has given this young man a mission similar to the one he's on, to keep her alive. And I really like that, because that's how they, like that level of dedication, to all you service members out there. Thank you for your service.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
we know how seriously
Absolutely.
you take things, and it is appreciated. And we can see that here, even out of the service, we see that level of commitment, and it is absolutely appreciated. So yeah, this episode was incredible. Roscoe has an incredible situation as well, where she's running for her life and trying to protect, this mother and two kids, and it's not easy, Lorena. She's in the
Mhm.
dark. These two trained killers are shooting at her. And, I don't know how she did it. She really, had to use sort of like a lot of skill to do this, just to survive that.
Mhm.
She's incredible. She's incredible.
She's absolutely, absolutely incredible. I love her. Just the simple fact of just, when the kids are, trying to put the kids down, and she looks outside and just, because of her instincts, can see that light immediately. And that's the difference between them staying alive and them getting killed, is her being that, that observant.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is something that just pretty much saved her life, and saved the mother and the two girls' lives. Because if she hadn't been, they'd all be dead. They wouldn't have stood a chance. But she had this feeling,
No,
about things, and I think,
they would have died.
yeah. And they were running. I mean, this was legitimately, they were running for their lives. So, this shows you she knows what she's doing. And she, is very well aware that she had to kind of take control of the situation by having them, run ahead of her. Um, and,
Mhm.
so that the guys would be tailing her rather than the mother and the two kids, which I thought was incredibly heroic, you know, um, in this part of the story. So yeah. Yeah, this episode was an absolute 10 for me. So as they just seem to be getting better and better.
They really do, and it's almost like, can they keep it up? Can, and that's kind of my thing. It's like, can they keep this tension up? Because every episode has been ending, as much as we don't like it, because you're just like, man, it almost reminds me of like some of the old school um serial television series where at the end, like, the heroes, like, looks like, doom is impending and our hero's gonna die, and they're like, tune in next week. What are you talking about? I gotta wait till next week, because you're so invested in the storyline. It's in a way, it's almost kind of like reminds me of being forced to watch soap operas with my grand with my grandma, and they're just so caught up in what's happening, and you gotta wait until tomorrow to find out what happens. So I am hoping that you know they can keep this keep this really, really good tension and ratcheting up the rising. I hope they can keep it that. I hope they can keep it that way. That's what I'm hoping, because we're just like we're invested in it, and it's almost like I can't wait for the next episode, because it's same thing with Reacher is what happened when I was watching Squid Game. I did not think that that show was going to hook me. And even after the most emotionally draining episode, the one where they had to play the game, it was just two of them, and the one that lost was going to die. And the one where the main character, he's playing with like the older gentleman because nobody wanted to play with them, and just realizing what's going to happen. I'm just like, how the heck are they going to recover from this? Where's the next episode?
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very good comparison to make, because that one certainly did grip you and hold your attention.
Hmm.
I mean, they were even so bold as to stop the game. Everybody goes home, and then and then it comes back. Sorry for the spoilers, but and I found that to be very clever, because they didn't want it to be just one sort of storyline. They
Hmm.
had to find some way of showing that they could leave and then just walk away from this if they really wanted to. But for people who were in such dire situations, they almost had to go back. I found it very interesting, the dynamics of that story, and the fact that it's based on a real life incident that happened, where
Hmm.
people ended up losing protesting, and they lost their positions, and they couldn't get jobs after that, and how much how difficult it was for them. So it's kind of very interesting, the economic situations that can lead to some of these dire circumstances for people, unfortunately. But that intimidation scene in the horse stable, Lorena,
Hmm.
that would have scared me to. I would have had a heart attack or something, because it looked like. I mean, from his point of view, he probably thought they were going to kill him, even though he just witnessed what had happened. Right? They wanted him to see, but from his point of view, he was probably thinking, "I'm next. I'm next. They're going to do that to me."
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Exactly. I can't wait for the next episode.
I know, I know, I know.
I
I
cannot.
know.
I honestly can't. Oh, actually, I know what to talk about. So you see, the guy with the ponytail who gets on the phone and says,
Mhm,
"Oh yeah, 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 yeah. This is a problem. This guy's a
mhm.
problem." And you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? And of course, that chase scene was amazing because, like you said, he's not armed. He does not have a gun. He doesn't have a gun, and it's like it shows how smart he is because everything becomes a weapon. I'm laughing because he's picking up like I'm like a bicycle tire. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, never mind, because he's probably been trained like everything is a weapon. if you need to make something into a weapon, you would do it, you know. And that's exactly that scene. Any kind of close hand-to-hand combat scene is gonna be absolutely intense. What did you think of that?
It was spine tingling because he's running and he is trying to get away from this guy who will find him. This man is going to find him. The only way
Mhm.
this man will stop pursuing him is if this man is dead. So to have someone chasing you where your demise is inevitable if you don't defeat them first, it's terrifying. It's almost like it's like this mentality that this person has, this assassin coming for him, and just being able to find things around him, like you said, to use for weapons was incredibly
Mhm.
clever. He did a lot with that old bicycle tire, didn't he?
He did
Um,
a lot with that.
but
He
he
did a
still,
lot with that.
I think he got cut once or twice. And he knew it was him or this other guy. So he absolutely wasn't going to let it be him. And Lorena, I've never seen anybody killed that way before. Have you?
Um, only in movies. Only in movies, and I think only in movies, and even then, no, I'm not. I'm gonna take that back. Oh wait, why do I want to think of pretty much any Paul Verhoeven directed movie? If you go back and see, like, say, oh my gosh, Total Recall.
Yeah.
I know it's ancient as
No,
heck
I
because
remember
this
Total
company.
Recall.
Total Recall, okay, where the elevator scene and Arnold Schwarzenegger is there holding the guy's arms because Michael Ironside got squashed. It kind of reminded me of that because it's so graphic, but in a way we're kind of like, the bad guy's dead. I don't care how how it's done. It's but yeah, it's extremely graphic. I did not expect that. You just like, oh, shoot him, it falls over. I didn't expect for him to like strangle the dude with his own body weight, but over railing. I really didn't see that coming.
There was no way that guy was going to be able to get out of that move. That was just
No.
that was just I mean, it's just unbelievable move. And that was some incredible choreography on their part. But it looked like it was just unbelievable looking. And I was just, yeah, yeah.
It was just, yeah, that was cool. But what I also think is that it also again helped remind us that none of these people are safe.
Hmm.
You've got people watching them, they're not, petty criminals. They know how to kill you.
Right.
And yeah, and that's a constant, that's a constant threat. I mean, granted, you have somebody who's writing this, so they know how it's going to end. But for us watching this, we know Reacher's not 100% perfect. So, and the person that he's fighting knows what they're doing. So it's just like, what's going to happen? We hope he gets out of this. Which he did. So I think that's actually some really good writing where you have a hero where it's like, okay, he's got a vulnerability. You know, he's not infallible.
And yet at the same time, he knew that someone would be coming for him because he knew someone would be coming for the woman who's in the police precinct.
Right.
So I think that's why
Exactly.
he threw out the suit thing, just to throw them off. Like, let's say they were looking for him around the corner and he's no longer wearing the jacket, but this person
Hmm.
was, kind of eyeballing him hard and wasn't going to lose him.
Right.
So, but he knew
Exactly.
someone was coming for him. He knew it because
Hmm.
of what had happened to, I guess, what, 3 or 4 people who have unfortunately been killed after talking to him, so to speak.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
This is Yeah, I actually want to kind of call this a 10, 10 out of 10. I don't even want to know Darth Megatron when I said that's what she said. I would give this one a 10 out of 10. I don't think there has been a bad episode in this. So it's very hard trying to rate each episode separately. I mean, I can't right now. It's like for me, this is probably the best one that I've seen so far. I mean, all the other ones have been great. I think mostly because I like the episodes where they start dropping a whole lot of exposition to kind of so you can make certain connections and it's like, oh, okay, ding, light bulb. So that's probably why it's my favorite so far. Next to the shower scene, that was
I know.
to fire.
I agree with you there. That was phenomenal. There's 2 more episodes left, Lorena.
I know. Two more. Two
Yeah.
more. I feel kind of sad about that because it's gonna end, but there's so many questions. We're starting to see kind of a little bit about what's going on in Margrave, but with Kleiner dead and his son KJ skulking around, what's really going on with this?
I don't know. And we know that Kleiner is kind of an SOB from what we saw. Like he wasn't a good guy. He was a mean he was a mean guy. He was not, a friendly kind of person. He may look like a professional businessman, but he really was a gangster. He has some gangster in him. But now that this gangster has been taken out, what's going on? Right? You know what I mean? Like what's going on?
I know what is happening. What is happening in Margrave, but we got 2 more episodes. So this next one, they're probably going to be pressing on the gas. Even harder. So I'm of course I am excited to find out
I am
is
so
going
excited.
to happen. I so cannot freaking wait. So, folks, with that said, we're going to wrap up this watch party here. Can you tell the folks where they can find you?
Yes, you could find me on my YouTube channel, Positive Fandom, and on Twitch, Positive Fandom, one word. On Monday nights, you can find me streaming with Reina Creole, with Nina, and with, I can't think, Mandy on Toxic Femmes at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes you can find me on Wednesdays and Thursdays on the 1/6 Scale Man Network on Say What or Uncivilized Scoundrels. But you can also find me streaming with Lorena doing our Twitch series here on The Reacher during the week. On Friday afternoons, you can find me on Midnight's Edge in the morning at 12 p.m. Eastern with Tom and Andre and Cameron Pasha. And on the weekends, you can find me streaming with Robert Meyer Burnett on the Burnett Work, and on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You can find me on my channel, Positive Fandom, for my Positive Fandom Sunday brunch show. So bring your mimosas, where we do all the Positive Fandom parlay of what's going on in the fandom on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. live.
Awesome. She has so much going on. I love it. I love it. And of course, I'm Reina Creole. And of course, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me here on Twitch, kind of getting stuff together with doing stuff over here. So excited about this platform. Of course, like said, you can find me on Toxic Femme at 8 p.m. Eastern over on Midnight's Edge. You can also find me doing various live streams on my channel. On Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the Welcome to Florida live stream, where we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on in the second craziest state in the in the union. Let's see, Tuesdays I have several shows that rotate during the month of on Tuesdays anyway. So next Tuesday coming up, I am going to have an after school special show with Valiant Renegade as my guest. So please do join me for that. On Wednesdays, of course, at 5 p.m. Eastern, Blvd. You kind of have to follow me on Twitter to see which channel that's going to be on. 8:30 is the Dark Council. Again, follow me to see which channel that's going to be on with the guys from the Dark Council. On Thursdays, of course, I'm here streaming on Twitch with and on Fridays, I have the Lunch Table Show on 12 noon that I co-host with Fat Steven Seagal. And this week, Dreaming Tabitha is going to be our guest. So please come and check that out. And Saturdays, I have my theme park streams. So this Saturday, I'm going to be streaming from the Magic Kingdom. So come and have a great time with me while I'm out there streaming live early in the morning. And when you guys are just sitting on the couch enjoying your coffee and all that, to have some wonderful park time. So with that said, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Next week, episode 7, we will be here. Cannot wait to see what else is going on in the town of Margrave. And thanks so much. Please follow us here on Twitch, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.